Hey, what's up guys? Josh back here again with you today for another one, and this one that I have here today is another spirit that I have picked up. I mentioned it in my most recent video. Another spirit that I picked up with this whole shelter-in-place business kind of going on. Wanted to pick up something different this time that I have not tried before that would keep me company, and that is from a bourbon lineup that I have tried before, but not this one in particular from that lineup. But it is of the Old Grandad lineup, or the Olds lineup, as they kind of call it on their commercial kind of description for these particular whiskeys from the Basil Hayden family. This one is their bottled in bond, as you can see. Get that light off of there. Their 100 proof bottled in bond bourbon whiskey. I have not tried this one before, like I said, but I do like the 80 proof Old Grandad, really because of, even though it's 80 proof, most of their bourbons, the Old Grandad 80, this 100, and the 114, their mash bill is all a high rye mash bill, so there's a high kind of rye to corn ratio to these bourbons. So even with the 80 proof, it has a nice bite to it. Nice spiciness that sort of a lot of the kind of standard proof whiskeys, bourbons especially, can lack because of that lower proof, or standard proof, not really a low proof. And then of course they have their old Overholts, which they also have a bonnet of. I have not tried, but that is of course just a rye whiskey of theirs, also really good. So yeah, I have not tried this one before. I was trying to see if there's any kind of other info on it, but I think it's just kind of a standard, straightforward bourbon whiskey. So we will go ahead and get this cork off and give it a pour, and let's see what we get with this one. Which you can see I've already opened it. I've already tried it. It's been a few days since I've last had it, but yeah, we'll go ahead and get an actual kind of nose and appearance and everything on it this time. So with that appearance, it does look like it is leaving some nice, decent kind of thin sort of rimming around the inside of the glass there, but there are some kind of teardrops going on that you can kind of see there a little bit. The color is just sort of a little darker than the regular 80 proof, but I don't think it's really, it's just kind of bottled at a higher proof than the 80 proof is, so it's not going to be too much difference in color, which is just sort of a kind of burnt orange sort of color. Very orange whiskey in general. With the orange label, even with the 80 proof, it's just a really orange looking bourbon whiskey. But yeah, looks pretty much the same about as the 80 proof does. Let's go ahead and get a nose on this one. And the nose, just with the 80 proof, just as with the 80 proof. A lot of citrus in this bourbon. A lot of sweet aroma to this. Getting kind of some cardamom actually right up front. A lot of vanilla. Maybe even a little bit of like orange kind of juice. And with these 100 proofs, the higher proof, it is going to carry over some more aromas, some more flavors. Yeah, a whole lot of vanilla in this one. A lot, and it does have a bit more of a smoother, even with that higher proof, a bit of a smoother kind of aroma kind of going on. A little less alcohol heat, a little bit more just sort of sweet vanilla notes, a little bit of caramel maybe, but with this and the 80 proof, a lot of citrus on this one, a lot of orange kind of essence. So let's go right into the flavor on this one. With the flavor, a lot of that orange kind of citrus essence comes through. A little bit of that pith, like orange pith, the rind pith, the white kind of layer underneath the actual peel, gives off a little bit of that bitterness. A whole lot of citrus on this bourbon. Good bit of vanilla there as well. I've heard, like with Old Grandad, and it's probably just the grain and stuff, the higher rye, that you get almost sort of a sawdust kind of flavor, or kind of just the essence of what you might, get that heavy aroma of someone kind of taking a circular saw to a 2x4 or something like that. Just kind of like a garage or something, maybe a barn more appropriately. But yeah, you get a little bit of a kind of farmhouse sort of mustiness in there as well on the back end of the palate. Good bit of that vanilla comes through as well, which is nice. Smooths it out a bit from all that citrus. Not a whole lot of like brown sugar notes in this one. It's really just all vanilla and orange, like almost kind of like creamsicle like, especially if it's 100 proof. That richer kind of flavor. Whereas with the 80 proof, I might just get a little bit more like kind of orange peel, maybe a hint of vanilla, some alcohol and rye burn maybe. But this is a little smoother. Again, even with that higher proof, it's almost kind of has a kind of creamsicle kind of sweetness to it. Like a little frozen orange and cream sort of kind of bars that you would get in the grocery store or whatever. Yeah, that's kind of what biggest note I'm taking away from this is that. But then a lot of the grain really comes in play on this one, not so much the kind of brown sugar or baking spices, anything like that. Just a lot of that sort of bright, grainy kind of spiciness on the back end of this, along with a little bit of that sort of musty kind of sawdust, earthy kind of flavor going on there. Yeah, really, really nice sippable bourbon with the Old Grandad bonded for sure. I would definitely recommend, if you see it, picking it up. I've also heard this is a good, really good. I think I got this for, actually, before I say anything more, the price point I think was around $21, $22. So really not bad at all for the price. And I've heard this is a good sort of workhorse spirit for any kind of amateur bartender or professional bartender for that matter. And I have tried it in a couple of cocktails, or one cocktail at least now, whiskey sour, which was really good. Made a really good whiskey sour too, with that higher proof. You get a little more kick in your drinks with some good flavor being imparted into it as well. So if you have tried the 80 proof, would definitely recommend the step up to the 100 proof. Not saying that it's any, the 80 proof is inferior or anything. It is a good go-to. But if you're looking for something a little bit more complex, a little bit richer in flavor, definitely go for the bonded. I have yet to try the 114, though I definitely want to now after this one. Yeah, really good spirit. The Old Grandad bottled in bond there. So yeah, guys, until next time, continue to stay safe out there. With all this still going on, we're all sort of on a day-to-day basis at this point, I believe. So stay safe, stay healthy, and until next time, thank you for watching.